Welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. And of course, in studio with us this morning is Miss Kiran Maharaj. She's president of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and dare I say, only the second woman to have led that institution in its 145-year history. A big achievement, isn't it?
Well, first of all, thank you for that warm Jamaican welcome. One of the reasons why I love coming here. And I think we're making progress. I don't know how many women have headed the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce to date.
We're going to have to check that.
Okay.
But welcome. So you're here basically on a trade mission this time around. How's that been going?
It's been phenomenal. Trinidad and Jamaica have so much in common, and actually in the last 5 years, this is the third trade mission we've done. If we go back 7 years, the fourth. There have been 2 inward missions by Jamaica into Trinidad,
Yes.
and now 2, this one marks the second, of Trinidad coming into Jamaica. We had 23 companies here representing about 7 different sectors, and they were all blown away. A little more than half that group, this was their first visit to Jamaica, and they have fallen in love, which I think is a good sign.
That is a good sign. Talk to me about your industry and commerce, your Chamber of Industry and Commerce. What are some of the things that you do? What's the work like for such an institution?
Well, we are the oldest business sector organization in the country. I think we're the third oldest in the region. Jamaica's is about 200 years old. But we are the largest. We have just over 600 members. We represent 15 economic sectors. And so to be able to manage that day to day, what we've done is we have a very structured system. We have 11 internal committees. Each committee has 14 members. So all kinds of issues are addressed through them because we're really an advocacy body. So everything from environmental, social, and governance to the orange economy, how do we monetize the creative sector, to pharma and wellness, to digital business and technology, and a lot of others. Apart from that, we actively work with government and other stakeholders via their technical working groups. So right now, and I checked the list last week, we're on 43 technical working groups.
Wow.
All of these people serve gratis, and it is really about ensuring that the perspectives and the opinions and the comments and feedback from the business sector is channeled in an efficient and effective manner back to the policymakers. So day in and day out, all we do is advocate for the members to keep our business ecosystem as viable and vibrant as we can.
Sounds interesting. And off camera, we spoke a little bit about the similarities between our two countries, certainly more than the rest of the region. But immediately you began speaking, it came out. You mentioned a number of sectors, but there are 2 key sectors which I think both countries should pay close attention to going forward. You spoke to that creative, that orange economy, and you also spoke to digital. Something that both countries ought to be paying keen attention to. I mean, fintech is big in developed countries. How do you see that, certainly for Trinidad, moving forward?
I think that, we need to recognize the fact that we're also geographically, strategically placed. Jamaica is to the north and Trinidad is to the south. Our market access is one of the things we need to embrace and recognize. I think that during the pandemic, it was a real test. And I was actually caught in Jamaica for about 3 months during COVID, being locked out of Trinidad. But I saw how quickly you all adapted to the situation. And to me, that was a phenomenal experience. So definitely there is a lot of opportunity for knowledge transfer. I also think that there can be an exchange of ideas because on both sides we're very innovative. Jamaica in its entrepreneurial spirit, there is that sense of being risk takers.
Yes.
Trinidad seems to be a little more risk averse. I think maybe because we've come from the oil and gas economy, so that's been the bread and butter for so many years. So a lot of our entrepreneurs and our SMEs, I think what really holds them back is that they're afraid to take the next step. And I see that when they interact with Jamaican colleagues and counterparts, they seem to come out of that box. So digital, definitely. And you're right, apart from that, the orange economy. We do not do enough, I think, in this region, especially Jamaica and Trinidad, to really monetize the benefits of our creative sector. And there's so many reasons for wanting to monetize it. I mean, location. We should really be looking at this from the perspective as we are locations.
Yes.
So whether we invite Nigeria or Hollywood or Bollywood to shoot here, treat it as a location and let us give our people the opportunities and the skills to build capacity and to understudy. And that way they will also move forward.
Yes.
The other thing is that when you look at the kinds of scripts or the ideas that come to the fore, it's coming from a lot of our young people. And when you consider things like youth and crime, right? This is an outlet. The creative arts is an outlet of expression. And it's really about giving them a foundation and a canvas that they could paint their stories on. So whether it's film, fashion, music, I think that in terms of how it's marketed, Jamaica has done, a much better job at that. I know they'd recently set up the film fund here, which I'm hoping Trinidad would also look at and model. But then I've heard my colleagues here involved in the orange economy sector talk about how far advanced they think Trinidad is with our rebates and so on.
Yes.
So you think, okay, you all have this marketing potential. We seem to have the business sector understanding. Why are we not doing more? We should be more interrelated. There's one other sector that I think has a lot of potential, and that is our agricultural sector. And I don't know why I can't find ackee in my freezers in Trinidad, right? Or bami. I walk into the supermarket here and I could get it. And I just feel that there's so much we could do on that front. You all are great at coffee. I mean, some of my friends here tell me cocoa too, but no, we know we have Trinitario beans, okay? Highest grade of cocoa in the world, So we should really be looking at how we create opportunities for these businesses to be able to export. Because at the end of the day, we cannot grow within our local markets only. I think most businesses are maxing out now with what we're doing locally, which is why we're doing trade missions, right? We're trying to expand the business opportunities regionally. But what about extra-regionally? There is a lot of room for that.
So talk to us now about some of the things that your trade mission, together with the Jamaican entrepreneur and business community, what are some of the key elements of trade that you're now looking to push?
Yeah, so the trade mission was really to facilitate the introduction of Trinidad businesses to local suppliers, but also vice versa. And it was also for our local businesses in Trinidad to be able to get better insights and understanding. So a lot of the meetings was not just sales oriented, but it was really about gathering intel, data, understanding the culture, because we also have business people who would be willing to invest here. Similarly, you have Jamaican businesses who want to invest in Trinidad. And so that was really part of it. So we had everybody from, an SME, it's mainly SMEs, but SMEs who do things like creating safety uniforms, to a medium-sized business who does everything on the hotel side of providing equipment for restaurants, to the decor, to the training of staff, and so on, which is big for you all, your tourism destination. So we had engineers, structural engineers here. Construction is booming in Jamaica. They also learned a couple of things. So those are some of the types of businesses that we brought.
You've managed to, certainly with manufacturing, maybe because of the cost of manufacturing, you've managed to do very well in that. Jamaica lags in that area. While we do manufacture, certainly your cost of energy would have helped greatly on that side. Are you looking at significant growth in that area going forward?
Yes, but I think it has to be from outside. I think it has to be through partnerships. And what we're seeing now is obviously, and why the cost of manufacturing is lower. Let's explain that a little bit. Because electricity is subsidized in Trinidad. That's a big part of it, right? Which is starting to change now. I don't think it will be a shocking change, but it is starting to change. And so what we're seeing is that a lot of our local manufacturers are looking to further advance their exports, but also they're investigating the opportunities to set up in other places or work with partners who may have manufacturing entities outside and can produce the goods. So there's that kind of expansion happening. But in terms of exports, we've been doing extremely well in Trinidad, but I think Jamaica has also been doing very well in that regard, which is all the more reason that we should be working more closely together. And, so you all are getting into the North American market. I know that we have manufacturers who are also looking at more the South American market, and that's why I make this, it's about the geographic location. So should we be doing more warehousing? So that's one of my questions, because if these supply chains open, and we're doing export and we're working together, should we look at warehousing as one of the opportunities for our countries to work on together? We just launched our special economic zone, for instance, in Trinidad. We just had the act done, and we're going to be rolling that out. And I know that our government has been very much in touch with yours. Our governments work closely together, and so we'll be exploring those joint opportunities as well.
So we've been chatting with Kiran Maharaj. She's president of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. They are here on a trade mission, looking to forge better trade across the region, and especially with Trinidad and Jamaica. As we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9. Another wonderful program lined up for you.